looking at this changed my life. This and Dark Knight Returns were like the two big things for me where my life was instantly changed after I laid my eyes on it. And I'm so thankful for artists like this because I feel like I wouldn't have a purpose if I never saw this stuff. If you're not aware of it and this doesn't look familiar to you, this is Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. Now, why did this comic book change my life? It's actually the first comic book I remember ever picking up and ever reading. I was like, I usually don't talk about myself on this channel. I usually talk about the artist, but I'm going to talk about how important this comic book was to me. I was like 9 when I picked this up, and it blew my mind. But not only did it blow my mind, like how funny it was and how bizarre it was, it also showed me that comic books is like a serious medium that I could actually pick up because the artwork is very, I wouldn't say amateurish because it's really great artwork in my opinion, but it seems attainable. Like it seems like it's something that you could do, where somebody like a Barry Windsor Smith seems impossible. Like you're never going to be able to draw that way. But Yonan Vasquez draws in a style that seems like you can actually draw this one day. And I remember when I first started drawing, I wanted to draw in this style so badly. I was so inspired by this stuff. And, when you actually look at it from a trained artist's eyes now, it's actually a very complex style, but it seems like it's not. I look at it as very kind of like a punk rock kind of thing where it seems simple, but when you actually pick up an instrument, it's actually quite difficult. It's not something that you can just learn 2 chords in a day. Like it actually takes time. And this comic book was so important to me. He would later end up going on and doing things like Invader Zim later on. Squee, who's this character's name, has his own comic book as well. I'm actually happy that this has stayed a comic book because there was talks of it becoming a movie at one point, and I'm like, no, leave it a comic book. But this, I mean, is just some of the most absurd stuff you will ever see. I mean, it's just out of this world crazy, but it's so unique. I remember looking at this and thinking like Tim Burton style when I was younger. It has kind of like a Tim Burton feel, but not really. It's very unique to me. It's such a unique drawing style. It's very it's very deceptive in its complexities. Like it doesn't seem like it's complex, but it is. But it also gives you hope that one day you too could learn to draw. I think it's actually as insanely violent as it is, and there are swear words and stuff. I actually think it is a good book for a young aspiring artist. If only we could get like maybe an edited version or something. But I don't think that would be possible because you'd literally have to throw the entire comic book in the trash if you wanted to do that. But it's just really, really beautiful stuff, and I kind of wanted to share this with you guys. He's doing complex stuff like interesting perspective, great composition. Again, the more you learn about art, the more you appreciate something like this. Somebody who's not an artist, I feel like, would look at this and be like, this is amateurish. It's not. It's very, very, very brilliant work. And the other thing is he's using this very simplistic style for his characters, but every character looks different. Like you're never confused by what. Even characters who show up for like literally a scene or two, and then they get killed by Johnny. Like you could tell the difference between them. So it's not this like samey style where you're like, who is that? So yeah, it's definitely like one of those things where like I feel like a high schooler would really dig this, or a young kid would dig this, and I remember just being blown away by how amazing it is. And I'm proof that there's no such thing as violent media making somebody go out and killing anybody. I've never killed anybody, nor do I have any interest in killing anybody. But I ate this shit up like white rice when I was a kid. So, I mean, really, and it's so funny because like you see like his daily life, and then he just ends up killing people, and It's when you get a piece like that that's like really, really like detailed, great shading, just great figure work. And so yeah. And man, just really, really inspiring stuff. And I just wanted to kind of go through it. This is the kind of stuff that made me want to draw comics. Looking at this changed my life. This and Dark Knight Returns were like the two big things for me where my life was instantly changed after I laid my eyes on it. And I'm so thankful for artists like this because I feel like I wouldn't have a purpose if I never saw this stuff. So I'm very thankful, and I only think it makes sense for me to kind of, highlight this kind of stuff, as weird and bizarre as it is, but I really love it. And I feel like not a lot of people talk about this comic, which is really bizarre to me, that this isn't as popular as like Invader Zim is like really, really popular. I know it has like a cult following, but it has a cult following kind of like Big Lebowski has a cult following. Like everybody knows it exists. But with Johnny, I feel like it's not. I don't know why it doesn't get the same love. Maybe because it's just a comic book. But yeah, man, I really adore this stuff. I think Jhonen Vasquez is one of the most underrated artists in comics. And just in general, I think he's just doing really unique stuff. His style stands out. Like his work the moment you see it. And it's very much of that goth kind of thing. I guess being goth isn't cool anymore. I never was goth, so I never kind of related to that, but I related to this book. Doing really interesting. The other thing that I really like about this comic book is the borders. Like he does some really cool stuff on the borders, and then that inking stuff, very dark, just kind of like a etching, kind of like inking. It's very, very cool. He's doing some really experimental stuff, and I like it when an artist kind of just goes, fuck it, I'm just gonna do my own thing. This was not made with the intention of being mainstream, and I'm actually kind of puzzled that it's not. I'm thankful that it's not, but I'm kind of puzzled by it because it came out around like the perfect time, and I think it aged very, very well, at least in my opinion. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I know this hardcover is like super rare now for some reason. It hasn't been reprinted. I don't know if it's still printed by slave labor. You can get the soft cover. The issues, I don't know if they're still printing the issues. Sometimes they reprint the issues. I'm not sure, but also the other thing I want to point out is the lettering. He's doing it all here. He's doing the inking, obviously the actual drawing and the lettering, and the lettering is great too. He's got to be using an Ames lettering guide for sure. But yeah, interesting composition. I think he was like 18 or 19 when he did this as well. So, I mean, yeah, brilliant stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I love this stuff, and yeah, just great. I mean, look at stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I think there's like 7 issues or something. The other cool thing about this is I think it has some of his earliest stuff that he was doing like in high school, and or maybe middle school or something. And he's always been drawing, and I mean, look at that stuff. So interesting. Doing weird like fisheye perspective there. He's clearly doing perspective work. He is not just kind of, because when I started drawing, like when I was young, I had no concept of perspective. And then as an adult, you think he's just kind of like putting this stuff on panels, and he's not doing any kind of perspective work. And then you learn about perspective, and you look back at this and you go, oh no, he's doing really. I mean, obviously you get like upfront, like that has no perspective to it. It's just a fucking building. But he's doing interesting perspective. He's just doing it when he needs to, at the right times, and then he's kind of shorthanding the stuff that doesn't really matter, and the stuff that does matter is like compositionally beautiful and artistically brilliant and over the top, great expressions, doing really, really interesting stuff with expressions. And the story is actually interesting. I actually do like this story quite a lot. It's I mean, there's not a lot there, but it's funny enough and it's entertaining enough. You're kind of just, I mean, you could read this in an afternoon. It's not like we're reading Watchmen here. But yeah, I mean, I love this panel here. It's a great panel. I mean, crazy and absurd stuff like that. You can definitely see what kind of influence he had on things like Invader Zim, like absurd kind of stuff. And then we kind of get some sketches. Really, really cool sketches here. Man, I remember looking back at those and being like, dude, I remember I used to copy these and be like, man, I wish I could draw that well. The covers are in the back here. I don't think the covers were in the book as we were flipping, but really interesting covers. I don't know who was doing the covers. He may have been doing the covers. I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot of extras in here. And then, of course, you get some of his early stuff. Really, really, really cool edition of this. And yeah, I love his work. And I love this page here. But yeah, I just wanted to flip through that because it's such an important book to me and such an important artist. And I want to highlight all the artists that I like and enjoy. And I just feel like this is a book that not a lot of people talk about. And yeah, if you can get a chance to pick it up, I think it's like $20. You can probably get it used somewhere for $10 or something, maybe from like thrift books or something. But I definitely think this is a thing that you need to find at the right time. But maybe it's always the right time. I don't know. I think it just kind of clicked with me as a kid and being like, this stuff is super cool. And it's inspiring. And I'm so thankful that it exists. I'm so thankful that I knew about it randomly. So I don't even remember how I found out about it. I just knew about it. And I don't think Invader Zim had any... I think Invader Zim came out after I found out about it. And then I was like, oh, that's very similar. And then I was like, oh, this is the same guy. I guess he's doing animation now. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And in the comments, if you want to leave a comment, who's an artist that inspired you? Like, what was the first comic book you picked up? Who made you, like, what artist made you want to become an artist? You know, leave it below. I enjoy having the conversations with you guys because, you know, and you guys informing me on stuff that I didn't know about. So I'm very thankful for that. So I will see you guys in the next video.